Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a great day. My name's Andy, my channel's Finding Value. If you like making money, subscribe to the channel. I talk a lot about undervalued investment opportunities, typically in commodity sector just because that's what's cheap. I talk about ratio analysis, asset versus history, and whatever's cheap, that's what we focus in on. Today, I'm going to go over special opportunities. These are companies that I think have really good opportunities because of the chart patterns they are creating and the sectors that they're in, I think will do extremely well. So these are the cheetahs, the potential cheetahs out there. I talk about cheetahs. Cheetahs are animals that can run very fast. And the charts typically, they go up, they rest a little bit, they go up, they rest a little bit, just like a cheetah would. They would do a sprint, they would rest, they would do a sprint, they'd rest. So I call it, when the chart pattern breaks, the cheetahs released to the wild, and these things like to run up very, very much so. So here are some companies that I put money into. They exhibit very good chart patterns, very large chart patterns. And I think these are the future cheetahs. Some of them are already cheetahs. They're just resting. So I'll get into it. I'll show you which ones I like and why I like them. So these are some of the special opportunities. This is the cheetah. They are forming cup and handle patterns. So what I did is I got a picture of a cheetah. This is a baby cheetah on a cup. And it is our cheetah on a cup and handle pattern. The special edition here, since most of you want to know what I'm buying, it seems like, here you go. Okay, I'll show you what I'm buying. These are the companies, the charts, and the reasons why I'm buying them. Again, I am stating what I am doing. This is not financial. This is only financial education. It does not constitute as financial advice, only education and only stating what I am doing. So let's get into what I am doing and the companies that I like. Centennial Development, this is Centennial Resource Development. What do you guys see there? I've got a line drawn across. If it's a cheetah and it's on a cup, I am stating that Centennial Resource Development is a cheetah, and this is developing a cup and handle pattern. Here's your cup. Here's your handle. We developed another one. This was a cup and handle back here. And you saw it beeline straight on up after that break. We had a little bit of a rest. We pulled back, similar to this side here. You're going to see this thing, I think, go on and move on higher. And if you project this forward, this is a insanely large pattern. And hopefully this is right, but this from this portion to this portion projected upward on a logarithmic pattern goes off the chart. This is probably going to read $30 or $40 as a price projection on a logarithmic chart. So that is a very large projection upward using a logarithmic chart. And that's why I'm heavily invested in it. The oil to gold ratio is extremely cheap for oil. Oil is outperforming gold at the moment. At least yesterday, today it didn't. So we're having this battle back and forth. But I think oil is going to be a great play over this next summer. So I'm getting positioned now for the entire summer fall run that I expect coming up. Now, if I zoom in on this portion over here, it looks like this. So we've got a nice little pullback here. We got one kind of big up day. I expect this to go sideways maybe a couple days or something, and then I want to see a big move up. So we got maybe a couple more days, but I've been piling into Centennial Resource Development. I was piling in right in here. So you know what I'm doing real time. This also applies to SM Energy. This is also putting in a nice flag pattern. You might have a couple more days down or something like that, and then we'll see a big move on up, I hope. So maybe we have a couple more days of down movement. And again, this is scribing out a cup and handle pattern. I didn't show it. Callon Petroleum, it's got that same flag pattern as you look. It's been bouncing back and forth. I have a feeling that this is ready to go at some point very soon. Could be the next week or two. And it's also scribing out the same pattern that Centennial Development is with a gigantic cup and handle pattern. So these three companies are very much in my portfolio. I am heavily loaded in them, waiting for this chart break. Another company, which is Free Gold Ventures, I've been adding into Free Gold Ventures. You could say that this was kind of the initial move up. We've got this nice sell-off. So this was wave one. Wave one is usually smaller than wave three. Wave three, if it's coming, could be a gigantic wave. We've got a low here, a higher low, a higher low, a higher low. It is stepping up. We have a kind of a little formation forming here. I've been buying right in this area and here. I bought some back here. I had mistimed it. I bought it right here, hoping that we would have gone and moved up, but we had another pullback in here. And here we are kind of moving on sideways, waiting for the price of gold to move up. Well, now that gold is starting to show some legs, I have a feeling that these would be a good one to be, sitting on, waiting for the price of gold to move on higher, which we've seen this past day. Teuton Resources is in the same exact scenario. Big move higher. We've been pulling back. Low, higher low, higher low, higher low. It's been fizzling out kind of sideways, waiting for the price of, I think, of gold and silver to move up. I think we're going to see that very soon. Another thing to keep on our radar is rare earth prices versus gold and silver in 2010, 2011, 2012 timeframe. If we are at the beginning of a bull market, this is what's expected for some of these rare earth metals. They could potentially absolutely smoke it to the upside. So I like to look at some of these rare earth companies just to have a little bit of money in there, because if this happens again, I want to capture it. It's that simple. So I've got two companies here. This is Rare Element Resources. We've had a major kind of a gigantic move up. I would say that you could say that this move here is a first wave happening here. You've got the wave pattern. It came up, it came back. We pulled up, and now we're putting in a gigantic move, I think, going forward. I think number 9 would be here, the bottom. This was part of that kind of step up movement. And then we're going to be moving on up. Very much so. Right now, if you zoom in on this edge over here, we're zooming in. We've got a 1, 2, the third leg and the fifth leg. So that's 1, 3, and 5. And we've got an A, B, C correction, which I think is ending very shortly. Maybe it drops just a little bit below here or so. I'm looking at this, getting ready for a move on up. So I've got a little bit of money in here. Here's UURAF on a very big weekly, decade-long chart pattern. Big move back here, big move, and then the big sell-off. And I think we're getting close to a chart break. We've got a massive amount of volume over here. This was signaling a top. I think this is signaling a bottom. And eventually this is going to break to the upside. So I'm watching UURAF before I move to the upside. I'm going to zoom in on this. Here's the zoom in. This is a end of the wave. Whenever you see these things kind of dip down, moving on up. We had another pullback. This is kind of a B, C correction. You pull up, you pull back. I think this thing's ready to go very soon to the upside. Now, here's another one. I know you guys like platinum, and you always want platinum opportunities. I charted out platinum group metals. The chart looks so compelling that I even bought a bunch. So very large sell-off, massive move down, coming on down, coming on down. We were going sideways here, and I think that wave 9 or wave C on the pullback ended somewhere in here, and we're moving on up. What do I have here? This is a cup and handle pattern forming. I've been buying at the bottom of this handle right here, right now, loading into it. That's what I've been doing. I think this is a bottoming pattern. I think we're going to break this and probably create another gigantic large cup and pattern handle pattern. I said that all jacked up. And here it's gonna happen maybe at this $40 level or wherever this level is right here. That's kind of my guess. So I think, or maybe even we'll start one at 25 and at $40 or whatever it is. So I think we're going to come up, break through it, come up, break through it, come up, and kind of stair step up like that. So that's looking pretty good. PLG. And here's Silver Sands Resources. This one looks pretty compelling. This is an A, B, C correction down here, I think. Silver starting to get some legs underneath it, starting to move up. Same with gold. I kind of like it down here. Remember when I talk about dead periods where the stock kind of goes sideways? This thing's pulled back out of its kind of downtrend, or out of its pattern. It broke out to the downside and it's kind of just dead right here. I added a little bit of money in here. This is a higher risk, more of an exploration play. So I added a little bit in that to see what happens. Those are the ones that are on my radar. Those are the ones that I'm kind of buying into. PLG, the three horsemen of oil, the debtor companies, so to speak. I'm in those. I'm looking at some rare earths, and there's some of these silver companies I'm looking into. I also bought some, metallic minerals, Discovery Silver, and Silver Sands, and Aftermath Silver. I've been buying into those. You can remember, this isn't financial advice. You guys can follow me if you want or not. Do whatever decisions are best for you. These are the charts. This is kind of why I'm buying them. They've pulled back. They're kind of low. I don't really chase things that are way up there. The cup and handle patterns are pretty prevalent among a lot of these companies that I'm going after, and I like that chart pattern quite a bit. I'm more heavily invested in those. I'm more heavily invested in SM, CDEV, CPE, and I put a stake in PLG because that looks like a pretty good bottoming process that it's going through. If you guys like this content, give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Love to hear your opinions. And thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.